Hey, what's up guys, it's me David, back with yet another video, and as many of you guys know, I have loved the Moto Z2 Play. I love the Motorola lineup, I love how the Moto mods can quickly attach, although they are a tad bit expensive. I find that Motorola has really innovated in that space. They're not really that popular, but their Moto ZX Play, X being the numerical X, not the whatever random iPhone X thingy. X being X being the algebraic term, not the iPhone XS. So, Moto Z3 Play is rumored to come out next week. So the Moto Z3 Play is rumored to come out pretty darn soon with a 5G Moto mod. Now, a lot of different carriers are striving to be the first in class to get 5G. And the thing is, not a lot of phones will support 5G at first. There's going to have to be new phones that come out to support 5G. A Moto mod, like the Moto mod that supports 5G, will be an extremely capable, extremely simple way of adding 5G to your existing Motorola phone. Just snap it on. It's a bit bulky, according to the leaked pictures, but it's going to do an absolutely fantastic job at giving you 5G. Or that's what we were hoping for. Now, the Moto Z3 Play appears to be a very capable smartphone with flagship grade features, or features that are close enough to flagship that they are basically flagship. And at a price tag that's probably going to be extremely low, as the Moto Z2 Play right now costs $500. I'm expecting an increase about $50 to $100. So that's going to be in the $550 to $600 range, meaning that it's going to be competing with the OnePlus lineup of smartphones, so OnePlus 6. Now, is it going to be able to beat the OnePlus 6 in terms of performance? No. Motorola Z3 Play is rumored to have a The Motorola Z3 is rumored to have a 6.1-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 2160 by 1080. So it's no 4K here, only Sony does that, but it's an extremely capable display by the looks of it. AMOLED is a great display technology for mobile devices. It allows for super punchy contrast, super great saturation, and just overall really great look and feel, and it saves a lot of battery, which is always a plus when you're on a mobile platform. Now, the most important part of the specs of a smartphone isn't like the display size, the resolution, it's the processor. And inside the Moto Z3 Play is rumored to have a Snapdragon 636 processor that's going to be paired with a 4GB RAM stick, and it's going to have an Adreno 509 under the hood. Now, the modern Adreno 540 or 550 is excellent performing mobile gamers. 509 not so capable, but the Adreno 530, but the Snapdragon 625, which was the previous generation, and that's what's in the Moto Z2 Play, is, according to Mr. Mobile, similar in performance and not really noticeable in anything except for the heaviest of titles. 4GB of RAM is nothing to write home about, but it's not really an insignificant amount by any means. Now, modern day smartphones like the OnePlus 6 and the Samsung Galaxy S9, modern day smartphones are going to 6 to 8GB of RAM territory, which is ridiculous by my books, simply because 8GB of RAM is what you want on a basic entry-level computer. 6GB, more acceptable for a phone. I think companies are using way too much resources on adding extra RAM that the user's never going to need, like 8GB of RAM on Android. What are you going to use that for? Now, they did cut corners in the RAM, although as I have said before, that's a great thing because you're not going to need freaking 8 gigs RAM. 6 gigabytes of RAM would have been nice to see, but not necessary. And RAM prices are skyrocketing nowadays because Micron and Samsung and SK Hynix are just being jerks, and they're on purposely making the price go up. That's why they got sued in court and blah blah blah. Anyways, so what's going on is they cut corners again, but in a category that I'm not so forgiving in. And that is, of course, the storage. Some people reference this as memory, but memory is RAM, random access memory, and that's different from storage, which is actual storage. And so, what I'm trying to say here is Moto Z3 Play will come either in 32 gig or 64 gig variants. 64 is not a bad sum, but 32 is like pretty baseline at this point. And considering the price tag of around $500 to $600, which is the estimated price tag, 32 gigs is a little too small, man. That's kind of like that's the complaint I always have with the iPhones. 32 gigs for the base model is way too small for the price you're paying. 64 would be a much better base. Although storage prices are still pretty high considering you're using really fast SSDs. Not quite sure if mobile phones are using NVMe or SATA SSDs, but they're really snappy, like pretty darn fast. So I'm expecting them to be more expensive than usual. So I get that they're cutting corners here, but when you're comparing it with the OnePlus 6, it actually edges out, which is actually surprising. The OnePlus 6 doesn't have expandable storage. This guy, the Moto Z3 Play, does. It has expandable storage, which is crucial when you have 32 gigabytes of actual built-in storage. Now, micro SD cards are not nearly as fast as actual SSDs, but it's better than nothing. Now, I keep on referencing the OnePlus 6 when it comes to comparing it. That's because the OnePlus 6 is kind of in a comparable price tag. And when you're comparing, I'm using a lot of compare in this sentence. When you're comparing phones, you want to compare them not by feature set, but by price tag, by my books, because what you're paying is an incredibly important part of this equation. If the feature sets that you're paying for is less than what you're getting on other phones, but you're paying the same or a higher price, that's not great value. And great value is how I judge a phone's capabilities. So overall, guys, the Moto Z3 Play seems to be a promising phone, but I personally would go for the OnePlus 6 over the Moto Z3 Play if you are not interested in the Moto mods or you don't need that extra storage capacity. Now, if you're any other person, which is a vast number of people, you're going to be getting better RAM, better processor, better GPU, so better gaming, which kind of is integrated into that processor thing because we're using SoCs here, and just overall better fit and finish. So if you're really into Motorola's ecosystem, which is basically no one, then then waiting for the Z3 Play would be a great option, but before then, OnePlus 6 is the way to go. And that's kind of been the way things have been for the last couple of years, so you can really tell how stagnant the smartphone industry really is.